Peace, family. I am Erin Patten, and it is Meta Monday. And today we're discussing 3 easy ways to curate your life. And curating your life is super important because if you want to live the life of your dreams, if you want to manifest the dopest life of all, then you have to have the finest things that you desire around you. And using my fashion background, I worked in the fabulous world of fashion as a fashion stylist. When we went to photo shoots or runways, we would always have a million clothes, a million options of clothes and shoes and handbags and jewelry. And the first thing we had to do, and the first thing you would have to do to curate your life, is the edit. We have so many options in this life, just like you would have so many options on a shoot or a runway show. And you have to find what would work for the model, what would work for you, the individual, the unique you that you are. What are your tastes? What are your likes and dislikes? Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to live? Where do you want to work? What kind of partner do you want to have? You really have to think about all these aspects of your life and edit out that which doesn't serve you. You have to respect yourself enough to release those things sometimes that don't serve you and call into your life all the things that you want and that you desire. Just like in editing of the photo shoot, you have to find what works for the model, for her height, for her weight, for her size, for her skin tone. Think about the same for you. What would work for you? What would work for you and serve in your life? What do you need to edit out of your life? Is it, a bad partner? Is it a bad job? Is it a bad career? Or is it something that's just no longer bringing you joy? And so you really want to start thinking about those things in your life that you need to edit. You don't want to release everything, because sometimes in the release process, you can release some of the good with the bad. And that's not what we want to do here. We want to just do a nice, clean edit. And after the edit, you have to try the clothes on for size, right? Once you figure out what you don't want, you have to, look at the things you do love, look at the, the job you want to have, look at the place you want to live, look at the partners you think are the best mates for you, and decide if that's for you. Try it on for size. Does the color right? Does it feel good? Does it look good? Do you look good in it? Are you glowing in that space? And that's really where you also want to be comfortable with being uncomfortable in this space. After the edit, you don't want to be familiar with anything. In the try and get on for size, when you're in the fitting room or when you're sort of in front of the mirror, you want to make sure that you're taking risks. You want to make sure that you're being adventurous. You want to make sure that you're just not following the trends. You want to be the individual that you are. You want to shine brightly like the divine being that you are. And in order to do that, you have to do what works for you. You have to find what works for you. You have to try on what works for you, for your body type, for your skin tone, for your hair, and that's the same with our lives. We have to figure out, where do I want to be? Who do I want to be with? Where do I want to work? How do I want to make money? How do I want to pay my bills? Let's just say it that way, because money is just energy, just like everything else. But how do I want to bring joy to my life? What do I see myself getting up and doing every single day? How can I serve humanity? There's so much going on in our world. There's so much going on in the city of Houston. How can we serve our communities? How can we serve ourselves by serving others? And that is a way of just like getting out of our comfort zone and getting out of what's familiar and doing that which may be a little bit scary. It may be a little scary. You may be a little bit afraid. You may have a lot of fear, but this is where we develop that courage. In curating our lives, we have to be, in a way, fearless. However, it's nearly impossible to be fearless. Fear can be good in a sense because it shows us that we're stepping out. We're stepping out, whether it be on faith, whether it be, to just try something new, but we have to be a little bit risk-taking in this phase of trying it on because we never know what's gonna fit. We have to try a little bit of everything in order to know what works for us. And after you try it on for size, in the world of fashion, you hit the runway. You hit the runway, you hit that photo shoot, you get those angles. You may have to take a good selfie of yourself when you have that life of your dreams. And this is where we learn how to just love ourselves. We learn how to love that which we're in. We learn how to find what moves and resonates with us, resonates deep into our soul. Once we've tried a lot of things on, or a few things on, depending on how much time you want to take in the trying on phase, you have to find what resonates with you. And when that resonates with you, you start to glow. You start to glow. You're on that runway. You're in front of the camera. You're in front of your peers. You're in front of your family. And they're like, what are you doing? They're like, what are you on? You're just so joyful now. You're happy now. You don't go off on people so quickly now. And there, people around you will start to notice that shift. They'll start to notice that what you're doing in your life, when you're starting to find your purpose, when you're starting to align with your purpose, that you start to glow different, you start to look different. And that is the beauty of curating your life. When you're able to curate all those little aspects of who you're partnering with, or where you're working, or what are you doing as your passion, or what foods you're eating, what places you're going, where you're living. Once you start being very intentional about that curation process, then you start to manifest and live the life of your dreams. You start to release all that pain and that trauma and that, resentment likely that you had from, past pleasing or following past patterns that really weren't aligned with who you are. And that is the key to living the life of your dreams, curating the life of your dreams. So I hope you take these little nuggets with you this week. Think about how you can edit things in your life, cut things out that aren't serving you. Think about how you can try new things on for size, not being familiar, taking more risks. And then last but not least, hitting that runway, finding what works for you, finding what resonates with you down to your soul, and living the life of your dreams. All right, y'all. I love you. Be sure to drop a comment. Let me know how this resonates with you. Share it with a friend. And also, of course, check out my website, erinpatten.com. So again, I love y'all. Peace.